Get ready for an adventure through Joe Rogan's podcast. He covers topics that get people excited and make them think deeply. From controversial subjects like transgender rights to intense debates about guns, there's never a dull moment. So, get ready to be hooked on seriously heated discussions that'll have you glued to your seat. Welcome to the wild world of the Joe Rogan Experience. Should transgender athletes compete in women's sports? Let's talk about a hot-button issue: transgender athletes in women's sports. Joe recently had a lively chat with Abigail Shrier about it. The big question: whether it's fair for transgender women to compete against biological women. Joe and his guest agreed that biological males might have some natural physical advantages, like more robust bones and muscles, which could make the competition uneven. The topic gets people fired up, no matter where you stand on the issue. The debate over censorship and free speech. Censorship and free speech. Joe Rogan has been diving deep into this issue, especially in his discussions with guests like Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. They've gone head-to-head over whether social media platforms have too much control over who gets to speak up and who gets silenced. Rogan's a big supporter of keeping dialogue open and letting all sorts of ideas be heard, even if they're controversial or might offend some people. The topic will make you consider what free speech means in today's digital world. Joe Rogan's stance on the war on drugs. They are putting an end to the war on drugs. In his discussions with guests like Dr. Carl Hart, things have gotten pretty intense as they debate whether criminalizing drugs has helped or hurt society. Rogan argues that treating addiction as a crime isn't the right approach. He thinks it should be seen as a health issue instead. According to him, the government's current strategy only worsens things. The topic will challenge your views on drugs and how they should be handled. Navigating COVID-19 and vaccination. COVID-19 and vaccines. Joe Rogan has shared some bold opinions on this issue, including questioning the safety and effectiveness of vaccines. He's had some intense discussions with experts like Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who've gone back and forth on whether the media and government are completely honest about the pros and cons of vaccinating. It's the kind of topic that can get your emotions going, no matter where you stand on the matter. Exploring Hunter Biden and allegations of political corruption. Get ready for some intense political talk. Joe Rogan recently had a heated conversation with journalist Glenn Greenwald about the Hunter Biden scandal and accusations of political corruption. Greenwald suggested that the mainstream media had deliberately ignored the story to shield Joe Biden's campaign, while Rogan raised doubts about the honesty of the entire political system. The topic will make you rethink your understanding of American politics, veganism, and ethics of animal rights. Joe Rogan has explored some hefty discussions with guests like Chris Kresser on veganism's ethical and health aspects. Kresser contended that a vegan diet might not be optimal and could result in nutrient deficiencies, while Rogan probed the morality of consuming animals for sustenance. It's a thought-provoking topic that encourages reconsidering our dietary choices and treatment of the sentient beings we coexist with on this planet, addressing police brutality and racial justice. Get ready for a passionate discussion, because Joe Rogan has tackled intense conversations about police brutality and racial justice with guests like Killer Mike and Dr. Cornel West. They've made the case that the current policing system is deeply flawed and that significant reforms are needed to combat systemic racism in America. Brace yourself for a topic that will challenge your perceptions about law enforcement and the pursuit of social equity: debating censorship on college campuses. Joe Rogan doesn't avoid controversy, especially when discussing censorship on college campuses. He's engaged in heated debates about the boundaries of free speech in academia, arguing that universities have become overly sensitive to political correctness. According to Rogan, students are being shielded from opposing viewpoints, prompting questions about the purpose of higher education and the responsibilities of universities in shaping discourse. Exploring the Second Amendment and gun control. Get ready for intense back and forth, because Joe Rogan has had fiery debates about gun control and the Second Amendment. Guests like Colion Noir and Adam Conover have sparred with Rogan over issues ranging from background checks to restrictions on assault weapons. Rogan typically leans towards defending gun rights, sparking discussions that challenge preconceived notions about firearms and the government's role in regulating them. exploring psychedelics and mental health. Joe Rogan is deeply immersed in the realm of psychedelics, engaging in profound discussions about their potential benefits for mental well-being. Conversations with experts like Dr. Roland Griffiths have delved into the therapeutic use of substances like psilocybin to alleviate conditions such as depression, anxiety, and addiction. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged as you reconsider conventional beliefs about drugs and the intricacies of consciousness itself. Navigating gender identity and pronouns. Joe Rogan hasn't shied away from controversy when discussing gender identity and the use of preferred pronouns. He's argued that mandating specific pronoun usage infringes on free speech and has expressed skepticism towards non-binary gender identities, labeling them as confusing and lacking scientific basis. Brace yourself for a discussion bound to ignite strong emotions, regardless of where you stand. Debating capitalism versus socialism. Get ready for some robust economic discourse, folks. Joe Rogan has engaged in spirited debates about the strengths and weaknesses of capitalism compared to socialism, often with guests like Ben Shapiro and Ana Kasparian. From discussions on income inequality to the role of government regulation. Rogan typically leans towards advocating for free markets and minimal government interference. Prepare to question the fundamental principles of our economic system and the appropriate extent of governmental involvement in societal affairs. The whirlwind of topics and debates featured on the Joe Rogan Experience offers a thrilling and enlightening journey into some of the most contentious issues of our era. Rogan's adept selection of guests ensures that listeners are treated to diverse perspectives, sparking intense conversations that challenge entrenched beliefs and encourage critical thinking. While these discussions may sometimes ignite fiery disagreements, they ultimately serve as a beacon of open dialogue in an increasingly polarized world. By engaging with controversial subjects such as transgender athletes, gun control, and psychedelics, Rogan fosters an environment where listeners are compelled to confront their own biases and explore new viewpoints. So, whether you nod or disagree with the discourse, the Joe Rogan Experience remains a captivating platform for intellectual exploration and entertainment. Strap in, hold on tight, and prepare to be stimulated and entertained as Rogan and his guests delve fearlessly into the heart of some of society's most pressing issues. After all, isn't that what makes the journey so exhilarating? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Your support means a lot to us. Take care until the next one, and feel free to drop a comment sharing your thoughts. See you soon.